What's up guys, it's AJ Sport Climber. I'll be bringing you another video over the IFSC Youth World Championship for Boulder. Let's get into the competition. Some of the changes we saw were changes to the age format, as there is no more juniors category. The only categories there are now are U19 and U17. The changes are likely due to limited resources and also the controversy over if juniors are even considered youth climbers anymore, as they can still compete on a senior circuit. Let's get into the qualifications for the U19. Here are the results from the qualifications for the women. We saw Faye McDonald from Team Great Britain. We saw Jillian Martin from Spain for a blaster from Austria. Then we also saw Manime Yama from Team Japan. Now let's get into the semifinals. So for the semifinals, we saw that boulders 1 and 4 were the most top boulders of the round, and boulder 3 was the hardest boulder with 0 top. Then we saw some of the exciting moments was that it was an amazing round for Faye McDonald, as she went from 24th to finishing 4th to make finals, which is crazy, such a big jump. Then we also saw that the athlete needed to top boulder 1 and 4 with all zones in order to make finals. Alright guys, here are some of the clips. Here are the results of the women's semifinals of the women who made the finals. U19 finals for the females was very exciting. We saw Manime from Japan top of women's 4, was just such a slow and steady top of a boulder. Then we also saw that Izzy Briggs from Great Britain was fighting super hard on the last boulder, giving it everything she had, almost getting the top of the boulder, and it was just a great round. Here are going to be all of the boulders. Here are the results from the final. We saw Kaho in first from Japan, and we also saw Julia in second, then we saw Manime in third, then we also saw Izzy Briggs in fourth, then we saw Faye McDonald in fifth. It was an exciting round with so many great boulders. The athletes gave it their absolute best. But let's get transitioned into the men. Alright guys, before we get into the male qualifications, I just want to give a shout out to Paul Nagy from Team Romania. He is one of my teammates of mine that trains here at Central Rock Gym in Atlanta. Then I also want to just give a shout out to Sam Richardson, who is always just a beast. Go check out his Instagram for all the crazy boulders. But with that being said, some of the results from qualification saw Sam Richardson in first, then we saw Lucas from Czechoslovakia in second, then we saw Cody from Japan in fourth. Alright guys, let's get into the semifinals. Alright guys, for the semifinals for the male, we saw that there was an exciting moment. For the first exciting moment, we saw that there was an insane toe hook finish for the top of M3 from the Japanese athlete. Then we also saw a buzzer beater of M2 from the Czechoslovakian athlete. But with that being said, let's get into the boulder. Boulder 1 being the easiest boulder, and also boulder 3 and 4 were being the hardest of the boulder round, in which we only saw 3 top of them, which all of the tops of the athletes made finals. Here are the rest of the boulders from this round. For the finals, we saw a lot of exciting moments. We saw every single boulder got top. Then we also saw a couple of upsets, like Samuel Richard from France only got second, as he bronzed at a previous World Cup and everyone was expecting him to be the winner. Then we also saw Lucas from the Czech Republic only got 7th, even though he was super dominant in the qualifications and the semifinal. With that being said, let's get into the boulders. Alright guys, for the standings for the final, we saw Cody from Japan in first, and we saw Samuel Richardson from France in second, then we saw Oswin from Thailand in third, which is actually a really big upset, and so cool to see the diversity among the podium. With that being said, let's transition. Alright guys, for the outro of the video, I just wanted to give it a talk about pressure. When it comes to competition climbing, pressure is such a kryptonite to young athletes. Every sport has its pressure, but when it comes to climbing, there's a unique kind of pressure, as climbing is a every man for themselves competition. If a comp climber does not perform to their standard, it's technically their fault, and it can take a major toll on the athletes, and I just think that's not really good for athletes to really get in that mindset. But I also just wanted to say, try your best and never talk bad about an athlete's performance, as in that moment of that athlete, it was their best performance. They couldn't have tried any harder, because I'm sure they would have. Encourage the athlete, because it is very hard to put your absolute best goals forward every single time you are asked to. And I just wanted to say how athletes get in their head so much, and it really makes a toxic environment. Then for all my athletes who do compete, I ask that you please remember, you climb out of love and enjoyment. So please do not believe your placement in a competition is your human worth in life. We are so much more than just competition climbers that have the placement tied next to our name. So let's go out there, enjoy it, and please climb because you love to climb. Thank you guys so much. That's going to be all for the video. I will be releasing a U17 Boulder review, where I actually might potentially give an exclusive interview with Lucy Duncan, who got second from Team USA. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you feel like you should. With that being said, peace out.